Beautiful lineup of games, guys. I have a beautiful lineup of games on my computer. Anyways, I've been getting a lot of requests from my friends to do a Roblox GFX tutorial because some of them want to start doing YouTube and they have no idea how to make GFX for their thumbnails or their profile pictures. So I wanted to make a complete beginner tutorial on how to create GFX of any avatar you'd like using Roblox Studio, Blender, and any art program you choose. Before we get started, I do want to clarify that this is for PC only because of the apps you need. And also, one of the apps, Blender, might not run well on lower end PCs. So hopefully you can get this to work if you have a lower end PC, but I'm not sure. With all of that out of the way, let's get into the tutorial. So the first thing you want to do is go to the Roblox homepage and go up here to create. You're going to want to push start creating and it'll go ahead and start downloading Roblox Studio. Since I already have it, it just opens it for me. So that is the first program you want to install. The next program you have to get is Blender. You're going to go to blender.org, which I will link all of the links to these sites down below so you can download all of these really simply and you don't have to look anything up manually. You're going to see this if you're watching this in 2025 right after I uploaded it. I don't know how this is going to look in the future, but just find the download button. Push download Blender and go through the installing. Then the last thing you want to download is an art program. Now you don't have to use this one, but this is the one that I use. I use Fire Alpaca. It has a lot of features and it's completely free. So that's why I use it. Now that we have these programs installed, we're gonna go ahead and download the 3 plugins we need for Roblox Studio. The first plugin is going to be Load Character Light by Already Pro. This one's gonna let you put any Roblox avatar into the studio. You can get the paid version, but I don't really know the difference, and the free one works perfectly fine. The second plugin you will need is going to be Load Catalog Items by Art FVL. This one lets you add in accessories to your project. And then the final plugin you will need is Anchor Pose by Just the Coder. This one's going to lock your poses in place so you can export easier. I'm going to leave a link to someone else's tutorial on how to install Roblox Studio plugins because I'm not going to go into all the details, but it's a really simple process, so I'm just going to go ahead and link someone else's video on that, and you guys can follow that tutorial and come right back here once you're done. So the first thing you want to do when you get into Roblox Studio is click up here and push New Experience. You might have to log into the Roblox Studio first. Just log in with your Roblox account and you'll be perfectly fine. The navigation is pretty simple if you haven't used it before. It's hold right click and drag to move your screen around. You can use either arrow keys or WASD to move around. You can also use E and Q to go up and down. And that's basically it. You just use those in a combination of ways. It's much simpler than Blender. Blender's a little bit hard to get used to, so I will have to explain that as well. The first thing you want to do is turn on your select tool, select this, right click, and push delete, because we don't need it. So after that's deleted, you want to go over to plugins at the top of your screen, and we're going to be using load character to load in whatever avatar we would like. So I'm personally going to use my alt account Trent Jaundice for this tutorial. So you're going to type in the username and then you will decide whether you want to use R6 or R15. This tutorial I'm going to be using R15. It's basically meaning like how many joints your character has. So R6 is going to be the old kind where you don't get all of these little joints in your like character's elbows and legs and stuff like that. R15 has all the joints you can move around in position, way better for posing and GFX in my opinion. So we're going to be using that one for the tutorial. So he is spawned in now, and what we're going to want to do now is just select the move tool in the home tab and just pull him up to where he's in line with the base plate and he's standing up so we can pose him. Or once he's like this, you're going to click onto avatar and animation editor. It's going to pull this up and you're going to click on him, or click on your character, but I'm going to be referring to it as him. So to pose your character, you want to click on rotate. You can click on any one of the body parts you want to position. I'm going to make him with his hands on his hips. I feel like that's a pretty basic one. So hold and drag to move them around. There's 3 axes. And if you notice, we are snapping to a grid. If you want to not snap to a grid and go freely, you can hold down shift while you're dragging and it lets you go freely. But make sure whenever you are doing that you don't hold down shift and then click on another part. It does turn both of the parts you had selected because it selects multiple doing that. So you just want to make sure you let it go before clicking on a new body part. He's kind of giving young Sheldon right now, but once you're done with the pose, stay in the animation editor, click on plugins, click on anchor. It'll pop it up down here. You're going to want to type in the username, or at least the beginning of it, because it's just looking for stuff on your project currently, so it's not looking at everybody's across at Roblox. So you can just type in the beginning of it and it just pops up here. It already knows who you want. That'll basically anchor it, but it does make a duplicate. So what you want to do is exit the animation editor, click on the one that is standing still and not posed, and just delete it. Now you have your avatar and you can reposition them. If you messed up, you can reposition. All you have to do is click on him and unanchor him. And then you can go back into avatar editor and edit him again. But for this, we want to anchor him. So he is basically all done and posed. You could export right now, but I'm going to go into detail on how to do everything that you need to. So let's say you wanted to give him a hat. Hop on over to the Roblox browser. We're going to click on Marketplace. We're going to find a hat. So I'm going to go to accessories and head. Let's find a random hat for him to be in. Here we go. Perfect. Minion. I'm going to click on that and I'm going to get to this page. Up here at the top, there's this code. So you want to copy this code, just the numbers. You're going to take it over to the studio. Once you're back in the studio, you're going to click on plugins. You're going to click on load character items. Pop that code in there, push insert. And as you can see, it's floating above him. So to make it attached to him, we want to go to the side here to asset or whatever it's called. But you want to click on this little arrow, it'll drop down. You'll see the little accessory version. You want to click and drag it into your avatar's drop down. So once you do that, it sticks to him. It applies it to him beautifully. Now let's say you wanted to change his shirt or change his pants or change his face. I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm going to go back to the catalog and I'm going to grab a classic shirt code. I'm not going to show you guys because you just watched me do it. It's just the same thing, but you're going to go find a shirt you want. So after you have your code, you're going to click on this drop down and there are a few options. There's pants, shirt, and then if you wanted to change the face, you would go to head, drop it down, and put the code here. Right now we're changing his shirt. So we're going to click on shirt and it's going to look the same no matter what you're changing. So just do this on either pants, shirt, or face. And all you have to do is go down here to shirt template, copy the code in, and click enter. And his shirt has changed. Now let's say you wanted to add a model in the back of your GFX. So let me find a tree. Let's use a Bloxburg tree. So we're going to position our tree. So personally, I'm going to put it behind him. Now that everything's ready to export and be turned into a GFX, we can right click on our model. Make sure you export separately because it will get like the textures corrupted if you don't. So I always just do it just in case. But first I'm going to export Trent. So whenever you're exporting, make sure you export it as an OBJ. Make sure it is exporting as that. And then you get to pick a place where you want your folder to be. So I like making a folder for every GFX project I work on. So I'm going to call this one tutorial because this is a tutorial video. And then once you're in this folder, I would make a folder for each item that you're exporting. So I'm going to name this one Trent. And I'm going to name the model Trent and I'm going to save it into this folder. Then when you're exporting the tree, do the same thing. Go to save/export, export selection. Go back to the tutorial tab and then make a new folder inside of that called whatever your other object is. I'm going to name mine tree, of course. After you're done exporting all of your objects that you're using in your GFX, You want to make sure you save your Roblox project so you don't have to completely redo it if anything goes wrong and you have to re-export stuff. After you're done exporting your stuff and you're ready to go into Blender, you want to make sure you download this file first so you can use it in Blender. This is going to be a Lightroom, which makes your models actually show up lit whenever you render them, instead of just completely black with no lighting. So I didn't make this one. This one is from a beautiful YouTuber who literally, I watched her tutorials to figure out everything I know. I'm just making this tutorial an all-in-one because I know some people don't want to have to look through a bunch of different mixed up tutorials by other people. But this is by Tay's GFX. She is so wonderful, so good. She made this Lightroom. I'm going to share a link to it down in the description where you can go download it. I would definitely recommend checking her channel out because she has a lot of useful tips in case you need to learn anything that's not in this video. You want to download this and save it somewhere you won't lose it. This is basically just going to be the file we load up when we get into Blender. So once you've downloaded that, you want to go into Blender. Navigate around in Blender, you have to hold down the scroll wheel on your mouse. If you're on laptop, I have no idea. I think there's a laptop mode you can turn on for Blender, but you'd have to look it up. I'm not sure. But yeah, hold down your scroll wheel and drag to move around, and you can zoom in and out. And that's about all I know for navigation in this damn app. It's literally complicated as hell to move around. So I would just stick to like zooming and scrolling around if you wanted to actually look at anything. But I'll show you guys how to position the camera whenever it is time to render, because you do that one very simply. There's like a different thing you can use for that. So the first thing we want to do is click on File up here at the top and push Open. And you want to find that Lightroom file that you just downloaded, lightroom.blend. And you're going to double click on it or open it. Now yours won't look like this active camera because I've edited mine just a little bit from what the original download is. It's just the size of the like render camera area, but we're just going to ignore that for now. I'm going to click off of that. And you'll see that this is like an empty studio. What you want to do is click on File up here, go to Import and go to wavefront.obj. This is where you're going to put in your Roblox files. So you're going to go to whatever folder you had your file in, or wherever you saved your stuff in. So you don't want to click on MTL. You want to make sure you're clicking on OBJ. Now that you have him in here, you can add your tree or add your object as well by doing the same process, or you could render them separately just by doing a render of him and then going back and doing a render of the tree separately. But I'm going to show you guys how to render them together. Maybe you're asking, why is it gray looking? You can actually turn on this mode and it loads everything in. And when you're in this mode, you'll realize that the tree is gray. And I'm going to show you guys how to fix that. Any object you load in has a very good chance of appearing gray in Blender from Roblox Studio. I don't know why, it's just the way it is, but I can help you guys fix that. So I'm going to keep that mode on. Definitely don't put on this mode because this is like going to lag your computer out. This is like rendered display, like it looks rendered. So it's going to render everything. So we're going to keep it on this just to keep it simple and not to lag. So to change the tree to have the right shading, you're going to find this in the sidebar here. Click on Tree. Click down here at Material. And you'll see that we have different materials here and they both appear gray. So down here, when you click on one of these materials, down here, this will show up. Same navigation, hold down your scroll wheel. So you want to get to these two. You can ignore everything else, basically. These two we need to change. So we want to undrag this from base color. We're going to click and drag this away from here just a little bit so we have like a gap in between. You're going to push Add, Color, and Mix Color. And this will appear and you're going to place it right here. So what you're going to do now is click on this. Click on A. Click on the little selector tool. Click on the base color that shows up over here. Then you want to click and drag color to B and result to base color. And as you can see, it has a little bit of color now, but it's not perfect. So what you want to do, instead of having it say mixed, you're going to make it multiply. And then you can make it a little bit, then you could kind of customize it, whether you want it to be full texture or half texture. Basically doing this is just going to show it up as color and not apply any texture to it. And if you have it at full, it'll apply the texture and the color fully. So I just like putting mine to full. And that's how you fix that. And you're going to do the same thing over here for whatever part you have on your model. So add color, mix color, put that right in the middle. Select A, select the color from here. Drag color to B, drag result to base, and you're going to push, instead of mix, you're going to push multiply, and then you're going to turn this up. We're gonna minimize this a little bit. To render something in Blender, we're going to go to View, we're going to go to Camera, and we're going to push Active Camera. And you'll notice that maybe your camera looks a little different than mine, like width-wise and height-wise. If you want to make it a different shape, you click on Output, and you can change the resolution here. So I'm going to actually change mine to 1000 by 1000 for this tutorial. So it's a square. And if you want to move the angle that it's shot at, that it's rendered at, you'd click on View, Navigation, and Walk Navigation while your active camera's on. And you're going to ignore the big light panels on, you know, these aren't going to show up in the render. So I'm going to render it like this. I'm going to push Render Image, and here we go. It's rendering my image. There he is. He's a transparent GFX now. And whenever it is done, this little sample number thing will go away at the top. Now it's done, and you can push Image, Save As, and then save your image wherever you want to. But if you wanted to change what the lighting colors are, which is a very important thing, of course, because for some themed GFX, you might want to do that. You're going to go over here to Lights on the side. You're going to click down here at this, and you can use, we're not going to use this, but we're going to use the top part here to change. So you can select any of these lights and change what color they are. So of course that's top, that's left, that's right, I believe. At least they might be backwards there. And then warm and cold. So this is just going to change what color the lights emit. So we're just going to go full on blue for this tutorial. Like, just to show you guys what it looks like if you change the lighting to like random colors. I'm going to do green on that side, hell. Just for the tutorial, I'm going to push render image. Now you can see that he is in green lighting, green-blue lighting. So that's all you have to do, basically. You just kind of figure out what you're wanting to do, change up the lights after you have your character in the thing. But that's basically it. So now I'm going to teach you guys how to do some simple editing of your GFX to make it look cool. Now that we have your image exported, you can hop into Fire Alpaca. You're going to want to close this tab that pops up here. Go up here to File, press New. I'm going to do 1280 by 720, which is the size of a thumbnail. And then to add in your GFX or any image you want, you push here at the side under File and you go Open as a new layer. Then you just select any image you want to add and it'll add it. So I'm going to click on him. And if you notice, he is off the screen. To fix that and to move any image around, basically, once you have it as a layer, you go up here to Select, you click Transform, and it pops right up. And so you can just play around with this a little bit. I'm going to put him right here. So let's say you wanted to give him a shadow or a glow effect. To do that, you want to click on this layer, go down here to Duplicate. You're going to go ahead and duplicate it. Now, I select the one that's on the bottom, like the original layer, and I'm going to add a new layer on top of that, and then we're going to turn that layer into a clipping layer. That means everything sticks to this image and not anything around it. So, let's say you wanted to do a glow effect. I'm going to turn on my white pen, my white brush, and turn it up a bit, and then we're going to draw on the clipping layer. Now, I can't see it right now, but I know it's there. Once that's done, once it's on the clipping layer completely covering this, we're going to push this little collapse button, and that'll turn it into one layer that's just white. And now that you have that done, and you want to make it glow, you're going to make sure you're clicked onto this white layer. Go up here to Filter, and go down to Gaussian Blur. And you can change the values. But, as you can see, he's glowing. He's glowing. You can do the same thing with any color you want. And it's pretty useful. That's basic stuff. And if you wanted to maybe make the colors match a little bit better, you can go to your image, click up here at the top, filter, brightness / contrast, and just play with everything. They have like a lot of different filters you can use in this, so. And then to save your project, once you're finished with your thumbnail, save your thumbnail. Now it will save as a file alpaca automatically, but you want to change it to PNG. And that's the whole tutorial. That's how you do it. So that'll be it for this video. I'll see you guys later. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys learned how to make a GFX. Have a happy, fun day.